Hi everyone, my name is Jerry Ibarra. I'm a screenwriter and filmmaker, and I'd like to welcome you all to my campaign page for my upcoming independent horror film, Leyenda. Leyenda is a passion project of mine, which has been through its share of development hell. But now, we've come up with a strategy we think can take our project to the next level. But before we dive into that, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in the 80s, and a big part of my childhood involved my father taking me to the movies on his days off. This was back when you could watch 3 movies for the price of 1 admission ticket. And believe me, we'd stay to watch them all. Even till this day, at just 2 years old, I can recall feeling that magical experience when I first saw Superman. Or when my father took me to the Cinerama Dome for the opening weekend of E.T. And of course, Scarface.
Okay. Do you want to play rough? Okay. No. Say hello to my little friend!
Which for some odd reason, my father told me that Tony Montana was going to die 30 minutes before it happened. But those are just some of the films that I'm not only fond of, but also inspired me to want to become a filmmaker. To be able to create your own visual world and tell your stories to an audience, how awesome is that? So after years of producing short films, writing screenplays, and collaborating and networking with some really talented people, I've now come to the point in my life where I need to take the next step, and that is to make a feature film. So what is this movie about? Well, let me tell you. Leyenda, which is Spanish for legend, is a thrilling and multi-layered horror story set in Baja California, which seeks to explore Mexican and Aztec culture. Religion, modern cults, and tourist harassment are just some of the underlying themes that drive the story's plot. Now, being a Mexican descent myself, and an occasional student of Aztec culture, not to mention a nostalgic fan of 70s and 80s horror, the initial reason behind me writing this story was to introduce an iconic monster to the horror genre, and to tell an authentic Latino-themed story that combines Mexican folklore with real-life experiences. So it strives to cross subgenres and be both a supernatural and slasher film. Now, the role of our heroine is said to be played by an up-and-coming and very talented actress, Ivana Rojas, who most recently had a recurring role on season 2 of the hit Netflix show, Gentified.
That's not fair. You know how hard I've worked to get here.
Besides Ivana and myself, we've got a top-notch team behind us, which includes experienced producer Jason Dax, and co-producing and handling our public relations will be Jasmine Espada. But before we can take that next step, we need your help to create a proof of concept. We need to produce a movie trailer that will showcase not only what the story is about, but also demonstrate what we could do with a moderate budget and some professional equipment. Please keep in mind, we are treating this like any other professional production, which not only includes above and below the line costs, but a modest 5% contingency as well. We want to make this a safe and engaging experience for all those involved, while producing a high-quality trailer that will no doubt endure and help us get our feature film funded. So with that said, I hope you will join us on our journey, and together we can make this production a reality.